Hi, welcome to the Digital Mapmakers Academy. I'm Paul Postal, and this is part two of our initial look at the Dungeon Alchemist AI-powered mapmaking application. In part one, I was joined by Dag Nappet, who is a casual mapmaker who makes maps for a homebrew Dungeons and Dragons game. And he's also one of the moderators on the Dungeon Alchemist Discord. There's even more great content in part two, so let's not waste any time. Let's go ahead and get into it.
People are going to be noticing, well, how come there's stone walls and how come there's plaster walls or wallpapered walls? You can actually change everything if you want.
Okay.
You don't have to keep the same stuff. So maybe that's a good time. Let's say you want to change your walls. So this is the replace walls button right here. And Dungeon Alchemist is good about telling you what everything does. So right here it says change all the walls in a room, and you can either click inside a room to change them or you can click on the outside.
Okay.
So let's say we started with a mansion, right? Maybe we want some nice paneling. Now, DA does go to rooms, and since we drew each one of these rooms separately, it'll see how it highlights?
Yep.
Highlights the inside and it highlights the outside, which is nice because you can have different walls on the inside than on the outside.
So
maybe,
yeah, go ahead. I think we're on the same
this
page.
armory is wood paneled.
Ah, okay. So you can have stone on the outside, but then you have your wood paneling on the inside.
Right. And that's why, some things you may have to do, like see this section here is on the inside of that mansion, right? So maybe you don't want to change those. You might want to change this one for sure.
Okay.
Although I've just changed everything to wood. That's okay. We'll just change it all to wood. It's a mansion.
There we go.
We'll go over here. We'll change this outside to wood. And this one we did separately, so we'll change that to wood. There we go.
Okay.
And then the inside, this is a cellar, right? Ah. So maybe we don't want that. And since this is a cellar, why do we have windows? We may not want that either. So here's a very quick way to get rid of windows if you don't want them. What you do is you change it to a half wall.
Okay.
And then you change it back.
Ah, okay.
So let's go with this one.
Okay.
There.
So you don't have to erase each window.
You don't have to erase every single window. You just change it to a half wall. That was something I wish I could remember who discovered that, but that's people as they're messing with it. They're giving us constant tips and tricks and stuff on how to do things, and it's very helpful.
That's unbelievable. So now you've shown how to change all different types of walls, but what if I want to remove a single wall? Could I remove a single wall?
You mean just a piece to say have like just an opening?
Yep.
Sure. Over here, this is the remove wall button.
Okay.
I don't want that wall.
Okay.
Or I don't want a whole section of wall.
Right. Okay.
So now that part's open to the outside or open to a room if I put it here.
Gotcha. Okay. This is great. I'm just looking at the assets that are in here, and this is unbelievable. That master bedroom you put in there. If I was making this map, I'd probably leave it just like that.
I like this a lot. This is pretty neat. I'll spin you around. Look at, here's a desk, and you can tell this guy is some kind of he's like an alchemist.
Yeah.
And he's experiments. You got your creepy statue here.
Okay.
That's pretty slick.
Yep. I think the only thing I would do different is I'd probably move that rug under the bed. But other than that,
sure.
Other than that,
yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
The rugs actually do go underneath the assets, so you can. Whoops. There we go.
Okay.
And then I could make this bigger if I want to.
Wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute. So show me how you made the rug bigger. Can you do that with all objects?
Most objects. Stairs and stuff, it doesn't let you do it yet. I think we've asked for the ability to make stairs any size we want.
Okay.
But yeah, this chest here, for instance, you have to give it room. So I'm going to pull it away from the wall. Okay. But most things have a little bounding box here. And if you just take the corner and drag,
wow,
you can make it bigger. If I move the mouse, the wheel, I can rotate it.
Okay.
Now, the rotation, I think it's about 15 degrees every click.
Okay.
But let's say you want to be a little bit more precise, or if you don't have a mouse, you can actually use this icon right here. And that gives you some really precise control as to how that is turned.
Yeah, look at that. That is great. And that chest could be, I bet you could make that smaller so it could look like a coffee table.
Sure.
I'm looking at that. I'm like, it almost looks like a coffee table.
Yeah, you could make it smaller. I could put it right here.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, if I go over to, say, the chair assets.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that gives you some perspective, right? That's just a little bit too small. So maybe we make it a little bit bigger. There.
Okay.
Now you got a chair. Now look, I can just copy that chair rather than having to keep going over.
Okay.
You just hit this little copy button and that same chair is copied.
Okay. Show me again how you're clicking on the little plus button there?
Yeah, it's right next to the delete button.
Okay.
It's a copy button.
Okay.
And that's interesting too. Let's say, see this chair?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to turn it like this. I'm going to make it bigger. Let's blow these away because we're just experimenting now anyway.
Okay.
I like the chest, so we'll put it over there.
Okay.
Let's say I had a room of giants.
Sure.
Right? And this is the exact orientation I want, and it's the exact size that I want. When you copy, it just copies that same thing.
Wow.
It remembers what you did.
Okay.
That's really handy for things like plants and stuff. If I were to make some outdoor environment stuff, I could show you how that works.
Okay.
But it's very handy to be able to do that.
That is fantastic. That's amazing. Or you can make it like a little kid chair.
Yeah, I was thinking that you could make it almost like a toy.
Yeah. Like a little toddler chair or like a toy chair. Yeah.
I can stack it there if I want.
Wow. So you can stack items as well. I noticed earlier when you were messing with that bookcase, you went to grab the bookcase and you accidentally
I grabbed a book by mistake. Yeah, that's because some of the assets they'll let you they'll come what's the word, pre-stacked for you. So for instance, here we've got here's a table, right? And I'm going to bring it out. Now, stuff that comes preloaded with stuff, if before you place it, you hit tab, you can just tab the things that are on that.
Wow.
And that way, I'm not looking for that. I don't want that. I kind of like that. Maybe I'll keep that there.
Okay.
And now let's size this. The stuff on the table sizes with the table.
Okay.
If I make it huge, it sizes with the table.
Okay. And then
I can rotate it.
Can you take those items off of the table?
Yeah, if I only want one of them, you just select that item and get rid of it.
Okay, so let's say you wanted to move that last vase or whatever that is on the table over to the chest. Could you do that?
Sure. I like this, and I think it's better over here.
That is so great. This is unbelievable. This is fantastic.
And
okay.
Something else that's interesting. Let's say I don't like this whole setup.
Yep.
If I delete this, it kills everything. It doesn't. Anything stacked on it, it kills it.
Gotcha.
It deletes it for you.
Okay. That is
another thing that's cool. I may not be able to demonstrate this properly, but you see this picture?
Yep.
See this middle button here?
Yep. Yep.
Okay, let's say I don't want that for the picture. Let's say I want something else. I can click that and it'll change the picture.
So if I just have a picture or an image on my computer or something and I just want to put that in there, I could do that.
Yep. You can customize the pictures.
Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. I just had this idea that I'm thinking people could do for their games. So zoom back out again. Because I want zoom back. I want our viewers to see this. So you just change this to a different picture.
Yes.
So if I wanted to, I could zoom in. So go ahead and zoom in.
Okay.
And I'm thinking I could get the cursor out of the way. I could take a screenshot of this. Since I play using VTTs. And I can share this as an image to my players. Here's what you see in the picture frame.
Yes.
Wow. That is amazing.
You know what else is cool?
Mm-hmm.
Watch this. So you see this big candelabra here, right?
Yep.
All right, I'm going to rotate it. I like it like that better. I want it to be right up against that wall.
Okay.
All right, now I'm going to go turn things around, and I'm going to go over here. And then I'm going to go to our furniture.
Okay.
I'm going to go to mirrors. And let's go to this mirror. We'll turn it around. And the mirrors work.
Oh my gosh. That's unbelievable.
So let me see if I can
angle it down.
See, it's reflecting the
wow.
Oops. It's now reflecting the candelabra.
That is amazing. That's really cool. Okay. So
Maybe I want a really big mirror. There you go. Now you can see it properly.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Gosh, that's just so cool. That is so amazing. I'm just getting all these ideas. With I can take screenshots of the rooms to show different things. Because at first, let me say this. Here's what I was thinking. I was like, what's the point of having these pictures, of having doors, having things on desks, if it's going to be from a top-down view? But then I got to thinking to myself, but I can just zoom in here, change the angle of my camera, take a picture, and use that, because I do that in Fantasy Grounds all the time. I make handouts for my players.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah, and I just show the image in Fantasy Grounds and use that as handouts for them. So now I'm wondering, like, if it'd be so cool if in the future the developers of Dungeon Alchemist had the ability, so devs, if you're listening, like a book on a table, and if you could somehow change like the writing in it, so you could do a screenshot and show that to players.
That would be pretty neat. I like that idea. I do know too, along those same lines, that 3D exports is going to be an option. They just don't have it implemented just yet.
Okay.
And another option is going to be a first-person view. So right now, this is the lowest angle I can get the camera.
Right.
But I would love to be able to open this door, say. In fact, let's try that. Okay. I don't want this here. It's just in my way.
Get out of the way. So, get out of the way, Colin.
Yeah. There we go. Now you see that? I want to be able to open this. And now, I'd love to be able to see. You can kind of see the mirror in the background there.
Yeah, you can.
Or maybe I just do it like that. Now that blocks it.
Yeah, that blocks it.
But you see how cool that would be?
So here's what I'm thinking. So what if, like in the future, they have with the first-person camera view. No, put the camera back because I'm going to show you something real quick. So put it back how you had it, like, but put it down like it's almost first person, and then you had the angle where it was showing the candelabra.
Okay.
Okay. So what if you're showing this first-person perspective to your players? They're walking up to the door, and there's like an NPC or something hidden beside the door, but it's not paying attention. They're being reflected by the camera. So you could show the players walking up, and there's an NPC hiding and not realizing that they're being shown in the camera. Go ahead.
Yes, I love that. I've been wanting to figure out how to use the mirrors to either solve a puzzle, or I love that idea where they normally wouldn't be able to see the NPC hiding around a corner.
Right.
But there's a mirror.
Right.
And that reflects them. And so in that mirror, they can see where they are, and then they could take them by surprise.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, as big as that mirror is, you'd have to be a pretty stupid NPC not to notice that you're being that you're being caught by the mirror.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I would absolutely agree with that. But since we're just poking around.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But I do like the potential for that. I think that's a great idea.
So can we do this? Because I've been noticing on these menus on the left here, can we just go ahead and make a completely new map?
Sure.
And then if we could make it whatever size you want.
I'll just keep it at 30 by 30 because that's where it's...
Okay. And then if we could make a room without the AI on, so whatever you want to make, if you want to make a tavern or a castle or whatever you want to make, I'll just
why don't we actually? Yeah, let's do a tavern. Those seem to be pretty We'll do another great hall.
Okay. Well, I mean, you know, every D&D game's got to have a tavern.
Yeah, you got to have a tavern. Why don't we do
Okay.
this? We'll do a tavern here
Okay.
because I want to show you something.
Okay.
And with the AI off, actually, if you have a PC that doesn't have really powerful specs,
Mm-hmm.
it might be better for you to just turn the AI off
Okay.
and fill it with your own stuff. If you're going to leave the AI on, like I said, start small.
Mm-hmm.
But so here's the Great Hall, right?
Okay.
And then these guys have their brewery sort of off to the side like this. So we'll do the brewery like that.
Okay.
Although that's not all that helpful because you can't see what it put in here.
Okay. But can you do AI can you turn the AI off for some rooms and turn the AI on for others?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, why don't we do this? I'll turn the AI back on.
Okay.
I'll go here.
Okay.
I'll select it. And then I just want the brewery.
Okay.
And it puts it all in there for me.
Unbelievable.
And in this room,
Mm-hmm.
this was the Great Hall. Oh, I screwed up.
Yep.
Got to move it off there. So select this room here instead.
Okay.
Okay, and I'll make that the brewery. Fine.
A giant brewery, but a small great hall.
Tiny
Okay.
tavern. So, hey, I made an error. What should I do? All right,
Yep.
I'll go back to this. I'll turn that into the brewery.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
Although, oh no, that's still the Great Hall. I must not have selected it. Yep, same thing. I screwed it up.
Okay.
Okay.
There we go. There we go.
And now I'll select this
Mm-hmm.
and Great Hall. Now you see, Paul,
Mm-hmm.
normally my choices are so perfect first time that I'm just not used to having to make all these different choices to show off all the flexibility of the program. That's what it is.
I'm just looking at this. I'm looking at that tavern, and that is just, it's already perfectly laid out.
Yeah, I don't think I would change this at all. Except the door that it added
Yeah.
happens to be on the same side where I added the brewery.
Okay.
So why don't we go to the doors here?
Okay.
And I'll put in this looks more like a tavern door to me. I'll put a door there.
Okay.
Right. There we go.
This series was originally intended as a two-parter, but there are so many great features to Dungeon Alchemist, I didn't want to leave anything out in my conversation with Dag and Nabbit. So I took part 2 and I re-edited it into a part 3, which is going to be dropping early next week. And then I'll be back to my regular drop schedules of Friday. If you do have any comments about either part 1 or part 2, please feel free to leave those in the comment section down below. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time on the Digital Mapmakers Academy.